Hi, this is Mike making my video. It's 3/25/2025 and it's 12:45 p.m. Yeah, I'm basically making this video to talk about manifestation. You know, basically they call it Satori. It's basically a sudden enlightenment. It happens instantaneously. It happens in the twinkling of an eye. So, with that being said, there's gradual enlightenment, where you slowly elevate your mood. But then there's Satori, basically, uh, usually it's accompanied, well, first of all, you have to focus. And, you keep seeking until you find what you're looking for. And then when you find it, you'll be disturbed. And that anxiety that you feel and that stress means that you're on point. And then you focus, and then you spend a long time focusing. Stillness, and then that stillness, usually amounts to an epiphany of some type. So you have, a visual. The windows of heaven open up, and you have a major epiphany, and then that gets to be so much you can't contain it. And they're talking about the windows of heaven. They're talking about your eyes. So ultimately, they say that heaven is on the inside and the outside of you. Basically meaning that it's inside your mind. And then ultimately you have extramission and intromission. So it talks about how observing something, you have an effect on it. You change the way you look at things. The things you look at change. And so basically they're saying that heaven is inside and outside of you. But ultimately they're one of the same. That's what very few people understand, is that everything you see is basically located inside your mind. You're a lot bigger than you think you are. That's kind of a weird juxtaposition, but it's really ultimately the way it is. That, ultimately, you play a video game, let's say, and then whatever you're looking at, appears in front of your eyes. As you turn your head, you see the side views and stuff like that. But the computer, the CPU that's located in the gaming system, basically produces this image, or the moving images of the road, let's say, and you're playing Grand Theft Auto. And as you turn your head, you're looking to the side, and then the computational power is much the same as reality. If I observe my teddy bear and then I put it behind my pillow and then I forget about it, and then is it really there? If a tree falls in the woods way up in Canada and it doesn't make a sound, does it make a sound if it falls, or is it even there? And then you think about that, and then you think about, well, then you start to observe your surroundings on where you're at inside your room, let's say, and you wake up and you start looking around and you can see things start to materialize. This happens in a nanosecond, and things appear, and you witness that, and then you basically see that, and then you see things disappear. And so anyway, it goes both forward and reverse as far as things go. Things can reappear and disappear. So with that being said, you can extend that to, let's say, bigger objects and buildings even, and they'll disappear. So then the sun, or rather the moon, is the moon even there if you don't see it? And the fact of the matter is it's not. And so if you don't observe it, it doesn't exist. If you're a sentient being, then you can observe it. They had those little counters on those double slit experiments, and the counter has an effect on the way the patterns are. If the counter is taken out of the equation, If there's no observer, then the patterns are different. So, the thing is having a observation of something, basically has an effect on it. That's extramission, and intramission is when that object, let's say, for example, you have a reflection on a mirror and you see something behind the mirror. Is it really behind the mirror, or is it inside the mirror, or is it not? And then you think about it, and then the fact of the matter is I've had scrying, where I talk to people on the other side of the mirror. So with that being said, that means there's a whole other dimension on the inside of a mirror. And then much to be said, like on the inside of your mind, there's a whole other dimension. So anyway, there's that, and then, I'll talk about, like deja vu. I've had deja vus where I know that it was a deja vu. It's a repeat of an event that took place years ago, and it happened years later in the same bed, in the same locale, but it was the same exact event that took place. And, I had a bunch of people come in, from the police force, but they arranged in the exact same order, the same exact employees and everything. And I was wearing the same outfit, and it was years later. So, the thing is reality, predeterminate? So then with that being said, if it took place twice, if there's a deja vu, that means that event was meant to unfold and take place. And it's almost like there was no controlling it. It's like it took place. So do you believe in fate or destiny? And, I believe that we are going to die eventually, so it's fate. We all have fate, and, basically it's predeterminate. So, we live out our destiny. We have desires in our mind, and we have an effect on reality. But then again, there's other instances where, it's predetermined. It was already established long before we even came in the room, before we even crossed that border. So, with that being said, I'm fascinated with reality, with quantum physics and stuff like that. They've got headsets that mimic almost what a dream state would be like. You put on the headset, and then you have a three-dimensional, area that you have an effect on. It's like you basically interact with this three-dimensional state of being. And it's a video game, or it might be even a person, and you might be talking to them basically on what would be a Skype, and it's basically three-dimensional. So with that being said, there's really technology is getting to the point, especially with AI and stuff, where they have, let's say, AI, and then they have, basically, reality as far as like it's augmented, and it's indistinguishable from reality as far as what we do. They have America's Got Talent, and they got things on there that are definitely far more advanced technology than we can even imagine. So, with that being said, it's like 70. We basically have that, and it's just like, basically within 10 years, we're going to have stuff that's so phenomenal that it's indistinguishable from what we have now. It's virtually that way now. As far as like the 70s stuff they have on America's Got Talent, they have people that appear on there, and they change and they morph and they make it look like magic, but it's really very high tech 7D projectors. So anyway, with that being said, and then of course manifestation, you raise your energies, you have a very high amount of energy. It talks about that in the Emerald Tablet. It says, with great industry and strength, you send your desires to the heavens. So, it's like my thoughts, they're sent out from me. and they come back later on. Maybe in the form of a car or a girlfriend or an item. It might be a purple paisley coat, but the thing is, I have that. So, you learn to trust the universe. You learn to accept things the way they are. You don't try to force things. You don't try to necessarily change things that are already in play. So, that's really ultimately all there is to it. And then, you accept things for what they are. Sometimes it might seem like it's bad, but on the surface, but then as it unfolds, you'll find out later on, hindsight, you'll see that it was meant to be. It was a better decision, in the big picture of things. So don't ask me how the universe knows these things. Don't exactly how it works or how my mind works in conjunction with the universe. I don't know. But I'm like the alpha, the universe would be the omega. So you submit to the universe, you fold, and when you give in, basically you let go, you destroy your ego, and you humble yourself. That's when the universe opens up and shows you something that's very large and very beautiful. So anyway, that's really ultimately what's going on with me. I don't have a whole lot. I don't do much. I have a simple life. I have little hobbies. I really don't push myself to do things that I really don't want to do. I more or less try to do things that I want to do, and then I basically, if I want to take a shower, I'll take a shower. If I want to go for a walk, I'll go for a walk. If I want to go for a drive, I'll go for a drive. If I want to buy something, I'll buy something. If I want to eat something, I'll eat something. So, the thing is, I don't have a girlfriend to tell me yes or no. I don't have to appease them. I don't have to ask them. I don't have to satisfy them. I don't have another person to do that with. I do feel lonely, but then I get over it. And then, of course, I don't have friends, per se, that I have to run with and play games with and stuff like that. I don't have that. And mostly I just have acquaintances, and then the thing is that's really ultimately all I have. I live a lonely life. But it says that God is alone, and it says that for you to enter into the Father's domain, you have to be alone. So a lot of these synchronicities and a lot of these manifestations are only going to be possible if you're alone. So I'm dedicating, 100% of my energy towards myself. I'm filling my own cup. And then maybe if there's room for other people, then I'll work on them. But for now, it's just me. So anyway, I've manifested millions of dollars. I've had all kinds of education, all kinds of property, cars, trucks, boats, motorcycles, snowmobiles, four-wheelers, and all kinds of women, blondes, brunettes, redheads, models, millionaires, movie stars. And basically, I've worked with plastic, wood, and metal, houses, cars, computers. I fix things, I tinker with things, I repurpose things, and that's really ultimately what my life is. And I don't worry too much about the stock market. I don't worry about the employment world. I don't have to work. I don't have a job. I haven't worked in 20 years, and I'm not a slave to society as far as that goes. So basically the only thing I really worry about is losing everything, but then again, it's a trade-off. If that was to happen, I would definitely have something. God doesn't leave you empty-handed. He'll give you something in return. God repays. So anyway, God is my mind and the universe around me. So anyway, that's all I got to say.